Everyone, my name is João and I'm part of the Ryanair Executive Committee. I'm here to talk to you about the meeting we held with the company on Thursday. This meeting was about the substantial modification on our working conditions. The meeting started at 3 in the afternoon. It went roughly until 7 in the evening. The first thing which was addressed on that meeting was an exchange of drafts for the minutes of the previous meetings. It was a more technical thing discussed between the lawyers of both parties. The previous day of the meeting, the company presented two new proposals to the social part, one for the cabin crew, another one for the pilots, and that's what was discussed on the meeting. Even though the proposals were presented separately, they are subject to the approval of the whole Commission. It's important to mention this. Before entering into discussing the actual proposals presented by the company, there were some previous issues that needed to be dealt with for everyone's protection on this negotiation. These issues included the union days to the negotiators and also keeping up with documents exchanged between parties in both English and Spanish as well. Before discussing Ryanair's cabin crew proposal, SEPLA, the pilots union, they have a financial expert they hired. And this financial expert presented a report that clearly refutes the causes presented by Ryanair for the proposed salary cuts and also for the duration of the measures that the company wants to implement. We now know, we now been advised by different market analysts that these measures are excessive, as Ryanair is expected to return to profits on the fiscal year ending in March 2022. That report by the financial expert from SEPLA also showed that Ryanair is a very powerful and solvent airline, which is going to have a bad year, yes, like every other single company in the world. But the most important question is, when will the company be able to recover? And that, as we stated before, is expected to happen much earlier than it was initially thought. That's why we think these salary cuts shouldn't be applied for a period of 4 or 5 years, when the company's recovery is expected by the majority of the financial analysts is expected to happen in 2022. SEPLA also then proceeded to present a proposal based on this report, and after both USO and SIPLA went on to clarify the new cabin crew proposal, which was sent to us the day before. In order to be fair, we note a small improvement on both Ryanair negotiation attitude and the proposal itself. However, we need to advise you that the 10% reduction proposed by the company is not accurate at all. According to our calculations, the real reductions will be between 30 and 60%, as we have already explained. The company considers that the reduction in activity should be considered in another process, even if it already involves a reduction in salary. They insist on the need to lower wages and the need to lower the unit cost to have more competitive prices with other airlines. We disagree with that view, because if at the end of the day we work less hours, we will get a lower salary. So a reduction in activity directly implies a reduction in salary, and that's what was mentioned to the company. Moving forward and talking about the new Ryanair proposal for cabin crew, this proposal includes the following main points in financial terms. The first one is the duration. They went down from the 5 years of the original proposal to 4 years on this new one. The second point is that the productivity bonus will disappear from our salary. and then the amount is to be included into the basic salary in 2023 and in 2024. In 2023 we would get 900 euro, and in 2024 we would get the extra, the other 900 euro. The point number 3 were the salary cuts. These salary cuts were only to be applied to basic salary and in fixed amounts. Explaining further, a CSS would get a salary cut of 1,400 euro per year, and it would be restored with 700 euro in 2023 and another 700 euro in 2024. A junior PU would have a salary cut of 750 euro per year, and it would be restored with 375 euro in 2023 and another 375 euro in 2024. And the junior, for the juniors, the salary cut would be of 250 euro per year, and it would be restored with 125 euro in 2023 and another 125 euro in 2024. On that proposal, there was no clear proposal presented on juniors without the basic salary. However, from USO, we directly asked Ryanair to send us a clear proposal on that in writing, so we can be able to assess it properly, that proposal. On that new proposal as well by the company, there was no pay increase from 2020 until 2024, and there were no promotions contemplated for juniors to junior PU. Those are the main points in financial terms, and we value this proposal as an improvement comparing to the original one. However, we insist that 4 years is too long of a period according to the information we have in hands. In terms of redundancy avoidance, the main tools proposed by the company are the basic ones, which are already provided by law, which are the long-term voluntary unpaid leave, which in Spain we know as excedencia voluntaria. The second one was part-time rosters, which in Spain we know as reducciones de jornada, and they also proposed ERTES, either force majeure or due to productive and economic reasons. This proposal is being analyzed by USO, and we believe it can be improved with some more inputs from our side. It is important to clarify that USO understands fully the seriousness of the current COVID-19 pandemic and how it is actually affecting all the sectors in society, especially the aviation sector. But it is also important to clarify that this is a temporary crisis, which Ryanair is expected to overcome in a much faster manner than the big majority of the other European airlines. And this is being said, and this is being analyzed by the majority of financial market analysts worldwide. So this is the reason why we will review our original proposal that we sent to Ryanair at the end of May, and we will adjust some of our measures to better suit and work on Ryanair's activity and profitability restoration. From USO, we have two main goals on this negotiation. The first one is to preserve all jobs, and to achieve that we want to use tools like the force majeure ERTES and AirTops to regulate and to balance the return to full company activity, and at the same time preserving the jobs of everyone. And the second one is to avoid as much salary cuts as possible. If after using tools like force majeure ERTES and AirTops there is still the need for salary cuts, then they have to be in line with the time frame predicted by the financial market analysts. In case salary cuts are needed, we may propose these cuts to be reviewed every 6 or every 12 months, and these salary cuts must be attached to conditions such as dividend distribution to the shareholders, profits made by the company, aircraft purchases, recruitment of crew, among other conditions. Ryanair also wants to adopt their measures from the 1st of July, while we are still on a force majeure ERTE. However, their measures should only be adopted once the force majeure ERTE ends. That's our point of view, because otherwise this could imply a salary reduction applied twice, and we don't want that. Backing up SEPLA's position, USO also defends that for now the ERTE, being a force majeure or later on economic or productive ERTE, is the correct tool to reduce the staff costs, because while the activity is below 100%, the company will only pay the salaries proportional to the work which is actually being done. And we also believe that is the right tool to deal with the temporary excess of crew. We also propose the continuous use of force majeure ERTE until it is possible, until it is allowed by the Spanish government, and eventually we will propose as well an AirTop agreed with the company with monthly flexibility, meaning that the AirTop would be adapted to the real needs of the company. By doing this, the staff costs would keep low, crew would be economically secure, and they would have their jobs secure, which is again one of our main goals here. On the meeting, we also inquired the company about the temporary transfers of cabin crew from overseas while we are still in an ERTE in Spain. Our lawyers say that this is a fraud, and this will be reported to the Labour Inspection as the company doesn't acknowledge this. We also asked for more meetings before or after the next one, which is supposed to be the last one on the 14th of July. And the company will release its agenda to not have any time limitations in trying to reach an agreement on that date. Both unions and the company will consider further meetings if is deemed necessary by potentially extending this consultation period which we are now on. As I said before, from USO we are working on adjusting our original proposal, taking into account some points of the last proposal sent by the company in order to, in good faith and with our best will, reach an agreement that can benefit all cabin crew based permanently here in Spain. In the next days we will present you with our proposal for your own information. And finally, we want to make it clear that we have a genuine intention to reach an agreement with the company, and we will work very hard to achieve that. However, it's important to emphasize this: it must be a reasonable deal. That is very important. On our next meeting, which is scheduled again for the 14th of July, starting at 10 a.m., we can guarantee that we will put our best efforts to try and reach that deal, and we'll obviously keep you updated on that. Thank you for your time, thank you for your support, and have a nice weekend.